And here we have down at the bottom of the map in the red from the Team Liquid from the site teamliquid.net. Foreigner favorite, the only foreigner in Code S even. It is. She looks so lonely without Huck there.
Aww.
Sad. Tragic story. Huck will find her someday, I'm sure. And up at the top of the map, we've got our Terran player, not Terran player, that was last map. Our Protoss player from the team TSL. He is.
That was
GSL
cute.
Killer.
Killer didn't know where to look. He was like looking around. He's like, do I look at the camera still or what? Am I done?
Got a feeling he knows where to look in this game. The mini-map.
The mini-map. Always a good place to look.
Your money. Lots of places to look. Not so much the main screen, really.
I remember last season, Killer, after his Code S group when he didn't advance, he was crushed, man. I remember he was like so depressed about it.
He really was. I mean, he's not the type of guy to really, get hit hard by losses as much as some of the other players. He's not quite as emotional. But, at least in my experience knowing him for a little while. But, after that match, he did not look happy at all.
Well, I mean, especially because he actually won his first game against Bolt.
Yeah.
And he was set to advance. And then he lost to Huck, and he actually lost to Pulp in the rematch of the final game.
Yeah.
So, very, very disappointing. So, he is really going to be trying hard here. He said in the group selection that he wasn't going to underestimate Huck this time.
Yep.
And we do have Huck and Killer going for almost exactly the same build right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see how they deviate in the future here.
In the future!
That's right. I'm really curious to see if they're both just going to 4-gate. I mean, Huck doesn't really prefer to 4-gate in PvP from the games we've seen of him. He likes to lately get that Robo first and then go into Blink Stalkers from that. Robo into Blink Stalker, he's been saying is the safest PvP build nowadays. Huck Probe getting harassed by the Killer Probe, which is more powerful. Looks like right now it's the Killer Probe.
Dude, Huck's probes. Huck is known for having just insane probe micro, doing so much harassment with a single probe, and you're right.
Down at the bottom of the map, look at that. Killer actually stealing Huck's gas.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Trying to force a 4-gate out of him whilst going for a second gas himself.
Yeah.
He's got a ramp he can hold, so maybe he's trying to force Huck into a 4-gate and then try and defend it.
That could change things now. Killer right now is only mining out of his second gas with one probe, I believe. Yeah, only one probe in that second gas. Not sure if that's a mistake or intentional.
He just put a couple more in, so.
Yeah, okay, so that may have been a bit of a mistake then. There's a Robo Bay going down for Huck. Just like we mentioned, he likes to go Robo into Blink Stalker right now.
And a Robo going down for Huck, and finally getting that second gas up. 2 more gateways going down for Killer. So...
And he may just go Blink Stalker.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see what this is. Nope, just pylon.
It's a pylon. All right, so, both players have 3 gateways right now. Huck, of course, has the Robo as well. These gateways are going to be a little bit later. And what is this?
Ooh, sneaky probe.
Probe's going to put something there.
Probably going to put down a proxy pylon, or at least a hidden pylon.
Yeah, Templar Archives going up now for Killer. So he is going to go straight into Blink most likely, unless he does possibly a Dark Shrine, but I would have to imagine it's probably just going to be Blink.
Yeah, just the Twilight Council at this point.
Yeah.
And probably going to do Blink. 3-gate Blink Stalkers is relatively common in Protoss versus Protoss.
Oh, yeah.
Huck is getting out an Observer. He's going to have 3 gateways as well.
Yep.
And we might see him go for the 3-gate plus Immortals.
Yeah, if he gets an Immortal after that, that's going to help quite a bit against the Blink Stalkers from TSL Killer. And, it's actually Dark Shrine from Killer. Interesting. Okay, so not Blink.
Wow. So...
Very cool.
So Huck might end up with a relatively easy win. It's not over yet, but I mean, if Killer just somehow doesn't do any damage with this, he's a little bit behind right now in supply.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that Huck's Observer might be pretty far out of position right now, or when the first DTs come out. That's going to be a bit of a danger.
Well, the thing is, he's going to scout the Dark Shrine with his Observer, and then he can either bring it back or make another Observer. Oh, and he cancels the Dark Shrine.
Good decision by Killer, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he saw that Robo. No reason to go DTs.
Oh, did he see the Robo?
Instead. Yeah, he got a probe into Huck's face. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it didn't exactly help Huck out that he did see that.
Interesting. Wow, that's interesting that the positioning of that robotics facility right next to the ramp actually ended up kind of being a disadvantage. Huck missing out on a easy advantage there.
Nice thing for Huck, though, is that this is going to put the blink timing exactly identical with his. So Killer and Huck are going to have blink at the same time, whereas Huck is also going to have that observer and potentially, you know, if he decides to do a little bit later, an immortal as well. So Huck right now, I got to say, is in a pretty good position.
Yeah, if Killer had had blink and Huck didn't, it would have been really bad, but Killer does have a lot more stalkers.
Yeah. Now Huck's got the sentry, he's got the zealots as well, so it's going to be tough for Killer to really get in and do a lot of damage. Huck just may decide to move out. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing at the moment. And Huck's looking pretty strong at the moment. Killer wasted a lot of time and resources trying to go for those DTs. And with the Observer, Huck can fire on the high ground. Killer has no way to see the Observer himself. So, you know, barring some sort of big control mishap, things are looking pretty good for Huck right now.
And here's the engagement.
Oh,
he blinks
blinking
forward.
ahead.
Nice.
Getting
Killer trying to
stalker.
dodge back with a blink. Huck pursuing with his own blink, and Huck just has more forces.
Looking ahead to grab that. Whoa, that Stalker actually dodged the other Stalker shots. Pretty cool. You can do that in StarCraft too. I always love seeing that. Look at that. Dodging Stalker shots. And Huck losing a Stalker there. Whoops, a little bit overzealous.
Overzealous.
Overzealot. Huck's going to wait until his other units pop out. And now Huck can kind of just sit in the middle of the map, which is kind of nice. May decide to try to look around maybe for some forward pylons. So actually, Huck's going to just expand.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He doesn't quite have enough that he can really attack Killer when Killer has his high ground. So it's a very smart move. You know, if you've got that advantage where the other guy can't move out, that's what we call map control. That's what map control means, is it means that you have control of the map and they cannot move out into the map. So when you do have that, you can expand and the other person can attack you. So Huck is going to take that advantage, turn it into an expansion. What was that about?
I don't know. He's shooting at his own robo.
I think he... No, I don't know. I don't know what that was, actually.
I think he may have seen the Observer and...
Observer chasing Observer.
Yep. Showing his robo bay who's boss. You better build that Observer faster. And Killer may be a little bit nervous too in this game. You know, he wants to get that revenge against Huck as well.
Yeah, Huck, you know, it's interesting. Huck used to have a lot of issues with nerves, and you know, he said in the past that that was the reason why he wasn't able to do as well. And you know, in his interview when he beat, which team was it? He finished off team in the team league. I remember who that was, which team that was.
I actually never saw that match. I heard so much about it and I haven't actually seen it yet. Huck killing off the forward pylons.
In his interview as MVP of the team league that day, he talked about how, I think it was that day, he talked about, it might have been his Code S day, he talked about how he had kind of conquered some of his nerves, and so he was able to play at his best. And he's been owning face ever since then, man, going around the world, taking first place, top foreigner at MLG.
Oh, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I think just looking at his play in the last month or two here, he really has finally conquered a lot of those nerves that bugged him a lot.
Yeah.
In the early days of StarCraft 2. Killer is trying to expand. We're going to say the same thing, Boltrap. We're on the same page, man.
All right, you say it.
Killer's expanding. There you go.
There we go. His expansion is going to be a lot later, though. Huck's income is currently at 300 or 400 minerals a minute more than Killer's.
Well, they've both got the same harvesters. Huck has obviously, you know, a little bit better efficiency with some of those probes at his second base too. But now that he's going to be able to chrono boost them out from both Nexuses, if he chooses to, he's going to be able to pull ahead.
He actually has a lot of chrono boost saved up.
Yep.
He may be saving that theoretically for if there's a battle. He wants to chrono boost all his warp gates as quickly as possible. You need a lot in the bank.
Well, this is one of those weird PvPs that's actually going longer than like 10 minutes. In fact, both players getting charged right now as well.
Wow.
For their zealots. So yeah, this may be one of those rare, you know, late game PvPs because neither player right now, I mean, they're both about even. Huck's slightly ahead in supply, but not really enough so that he can go in and really do some damage. Huck obviously scouting for some more forward pylons.
Yeah, I like this. I really like this by Huck. He's sending a couple stalkers out just to look around, make sure there's no pylons on the map. And in fact, there aren't right now. Huck has taken out the one that was on the right side of the map. Killer has no presence on the map at all. He's just hugging his Nexus there and his expansion. Yep,
Huck the one with map control right now. I'm curious to see where these guys are going to go from here. You know, I mean, neither one has gotten a forge for upgrades quite yet. You know, I wonder if we're going to see possibly some different tech or something like that.
There we go. Huck is moving out right now. He is going to have charge.
Yep.
Actually, they're going to have charge at about the same moment, but here's the thing. Huck's going to have 15 supply more than Killer, and they've got even workers.
It's a big
Actually,
deal
Killer has a few more workers, which means that Huck's army is about 20 supply larger than Killer's.
Yeah.
He's going to be fighting up a ramp, though.
He's got to get those Zealots in front, too. Right now, they're kind of bunched up in the back. He's got to get in a little bit better position before he decides to move up here. Looks like he wants to be aggressive, though. Is he going to blink into the main? Is he going to do it? He's going to blink some in there. He's going to pick off the probe.
Just distracting here.
Oh, I like that.
If he can get Killer to bring all of his forces back into the main, he can attack the front.
Oh, this could be huge.
Is Killer going to bite the bait?
No, he's not, actually. He's going to bring in just enough to take out the Stalkers for Huck. Nice decision there by Killer. And look at that. Killer even trying to wall off of some of those gateways there. Wow, Killer's just playing this really, really well, too. Both of these guys being so careful.
Decides to go all up there and take out the Stalkers that were being annoying, taking pot shots, going in with Zealots in the front. Well, the Stalkers are in the main. Zealot versus Zealot.
But in the main base, Killer has got kind of a little bit better concave on Huck, I think, but Huck has more Zealots.
Huck using some blink micro there. More Zealots as well.
Killer blinking ahead, bad decision there, but here come the Zealots force fielding the ramp so that Huck needs to fall back. Killer playing that splendidly, but look, he's going to lose his Nexus. Oh man, this is one of the craziest PvPs.
If he can kill some probes as well, that would be huge. He's just going to get those Zealots out of there, though.
Yep. Huck could try to deny this Nexus again.
Oh, actually bringing his Stalkers back in to support those Zealots.
That's so good that he was able to take that Nexus. Killer's going to be definitely behind at this point. Huck 124 supply to the 83 of TSL Killer, so coming out way ahead. Pulling back, deciding to play things safe for now. And yeah, good decision by Huck. Really interesting play by both players. I mean, force fielding the ramp seemed like a good decision at the moment, but then Huck was just able to go kill his Nexus. Killer reproducing the Dark Shrine at the moment. And actually, Killer about with half the probes that Huck has right now. And Huck getting a Templar Archives. Probably going to be getting some Archons with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the main reason to get a Templar Archives in Protoss vs. Protoss.
Yep.
It's a very rare occasion when you can get Protoss units to stay in one place long enough that Storm will actually be effective against them.
Yeah, I mean with shields too, it's just not very good.
Yeah, and I like this move. Huck also getting a Forge, so he can leave a couple cannons in his main, so that Dark Templar will not be able to kill him when he goes in to finish off Killer. This is beautiful, and just as I said that, Huck is actually getting Storm.
Well, you know, I suppose when it comes to, you know, big groups of Zealots, it is more efficient. But normally, you know, lately anyway, we've been seeing more Protoss go for Archons in PvP.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if he wants to, technically he could just lay down a couple Storms and then morph the Archon, and the Archon comes into the battle a little bit late. Huck taking, oh my gosh, Huck taking the gold base next to Killer's base. That is how commanding a position he is in right now. That's
Antigua Shipyards. Yeah, you can really get away with stuff like that if you control that middle point on the map and you have a little bit larger army. So, yeah, I mean, that Huck could also take the gold base that's farther away. He wants to take this gold base, of course, just to deny it from Killer later in the game, too, if it gets to that point. I like that decision by Huck to take that gold.
And when Storm finishes, he's going to have enough energy on 2 Templar and almost a third for some Storms. So he's going to have 3 Storms in the bank when this battle happens, at least.
Now, Killer has turned some DTs into Archons himself as well. So he does have a little bit of that going for him.
Killer's army a little bit out of position, going in the main, expecting a blink.
And it's not going to go for it. The Zealots are behind, streaming in one at a time.
Oh, nice Storms on all the Zealots.
Yeah, a lot of Zealots for Killer taking huge amounts of damage, and Huck is just going to roll right over this. Looks like Huck's not going to die today.
Yeah, Huck with a 40 supply lead, 50 supply lead, 60 supply lead, just owning Killer's units, forcing him back up into his main, but you can't hide in your own main, Killer.
Nope.
The Stalkers of Huck blinking up there, destroying everything, and Killer is going to have to leave without his revenge.
Well,
Liquid Huck has taken this game in fantastic style. A couple DTs desperately trying to kill this Robo, but it doesn't make a bit of difference at this point.
Well, they're going to kill it before that Observer comes out. Huck does still have one out on the map, so those DTs are actually going to do a decent amount of damage to Huck's base. But look at that, Huck just pulling all the probes to the Nexus. It's really not a huge deal.
I mean,
Huck's
even
so far ahead right now.
Yeah, even if it comes down to an elimination race, those Dark Templars are not going to kill every building before Huck's army kills all of his buildings. So.
Well, I mean, Huck's making some cannons at that gold base now, so he's going to be just fine. Last team to see Killer getting taken out. Killer's got to know it after seeing that gold base.
Yeah.
GG.
There he goes. GG. Liquid Huck coming back from the North America Invitational to own some Koreans as well, at least one.
Yep.
He is now going to have to face Bomber, though.
Conquering fatigue. Killer doesn't look too happy about that. He's got another chance. He's going to be able to play Violet later in the day here.
Dude, Huck versus Bomber.
Huck versus Bomber is going to be
so sick.
Pretty cool TVP. He beat MMA, so he has beaten some good Terrans. So question is, how's he going to do against Startail Bomber? The map is going to be, I've got it written down here, it's going to be Terminus. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
That is going to be
pretty big map for TVP.
That might be an epic game, man.
Yeah.
I can smell it. I'm like, what's that? I smell.
I can't. I'm so bad at
smell epic.
People.
I smell a little bit epic in the air with sautéed onions and garlic.
Sounds delicious. I haven't eaten anything
delicious,
yet today.
man.
I'm actually really hungry. Don't talk about food, Moletrap.
I'm sorry. You want me to talk about something disgusting that'll make you lose your...
that doesn't help either.
Oh, okay.
I want to talk about Startail Bomber versus Liquid Huck. That is actually a TVP that I've wanted to see for a long time.
Really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just one of the best matchups. I mean, you've got the top foreigner Protoss right now against one of the top Terrans in the GSL. Something like that you just can't go wrong with. It's going to be great.
Huck has his work cut out for him here. I think Bomber is definitely clearly the favorite in this game.
Well,
Huck is very good, but Bomber is one of the top few Terrans around.
It's true.
Unless he's 2 games up on Beyond, in which case he's one of the worst Terrans, apparently.
That was a really weird match. That was, I don't know, if those of you, some of you remember this match, I'm sure it was Bomber versus Beyond in the quarterfinals of Code S last season. Bomber just dominated the first 2 games and then just kind of really fell apart in the worst way I've ever seen him fall apart in the last 3. He looks like he's playing pretty well today. I don't know how things are going to go later in the day. Bomber's not usually the type of player to fall apart like that either. That was extremely strange. So I don't think we're going to see something like that, anytime soon here.
There's Huck. Took a little break, walking back to his booth, getting ready for the next game. It was Prime, by the way. Huck got the last 2 kills on Prime, beating Czech and Marine King. Couple very good players. Well, a couple good players. I won't say very. I'll rescind the very from that.
Yep. There's our results so far,
There's
of
the
course.
results so far.
Bomber and Huck winning their matches. Violet and Killer not winning their matches. So the next game we're going to see is Startail Bomber versus Liquid Huck, followed by MVP Violet versus Killer. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Be right back. This is the GSL Code S.